Hey everybody, it's night and we're here with the Underground Gospel Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is a interesting show we have for you today. Today we have we do have a good show. It's an evergreen show, and we're going to be talking about taxes a little bit and about giving unto Caesar that which is his. We're going to talk a little bit about money because I know people are interested. Jesus talked more about money than he did about the kingdom of heaven. It's pretty interesting that he came here to save people. And I told you this by favorite line is John 3:17, and that is that he sent his son not to judge the world, but to redeem it. So while you have all these people telling everybody what they're doing wrong, that's not the that's not the reason Jesus came to the earth. He came to the earth to redeem the earth, to bring people back to God. So let me take 1 second here and put on a little. I'm just going to put on our website. I'm just going to put my little website at the bottom, scrolling across the bottom, so that you guys can see where to go. Everything else will be there. So if you want to send me, and if you want to find the lyrics, all the lyrics are found on nightmusic.com. If you want to send me an email, you can send me an email over here at Guitar for Jesus at musician.org. And once again, that email is found on my website. If you would like me to come to a play, let's see, do I have anything for that? No, I don't. Um, so if you want me to come to play for your um, church or for your youth group or for your wedding, or I've done all that stuff before, and it's really fun. I'll just go back to nightmusic.com, just have that play, and we'll run that for the rest of the show. So, housekeeping. First off, episodes 101 and 102. So, this is the same episode. It'll be playing on Friday and Saturday night. It is up online right now. So, if you are watching it, if you're one of our patrons, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for, it's $2.99, best streaming service on the market right now. And it's a gift to God. I just thank you so much, because the things I do with my money, I think I said last week on last week's show, that the money that I have, I do this thing called tithing, and I don't consider it tithing. I consider it paying my manager's fees, because a manager's job is to open doors. And God said, I believe it was Matthew 11, where he says, knock and the door shall be open, asking you shall receive. And so I do knock on the door quite often. And because of the fact that I'm very, what's the word? Um, Not conscientious. It's very, well, I do it every week, whatever it's called. Every time I get money, 10% of that money goes immediately to pay manager's fees. And I got a sweet, sweet little letter today from the nuns I support. I grew up at a Catholic church, and went to a church in Normandy, and the nuns there, I was a handful. I'm not going to say they weren't nice to me. It was a different time, but they probably didn't know what to do. I was a handful, absolutely a handful. And so I just think it's funny, though, that decades after that school, it got torn down a long time ago, but decades after the school got torn down, I'm not in a position where I can send money to the nuns and help their ministries around the world. And I just wondered, when the principal or the teachers or anybody was involved with corporal punishment at the time, because I deserved it. I'll tell you a story now. When I was in, well, I'm sure I deserved it, but I just think it's funny that here it is, literally 5 decades later, and I'm now sending them money to support their missionary services around the world. But one of the fun stories was, I would come into class in fourth grade. I won't say the sister's name, but I came into class and the sister asked if anybody was riding the neighbor's horses. And so they had some Shetland ponies, and I was like, "Is anybody, you know, which is anybody riding the horses?" And of course, everybody was quiet. And so they're like, "Art, is there anything you want to tell us?" And I'm like, "No, nothing at all." It's like, "Come up here," and I came up to the front, and so I got paddled. Why me? And I go back down. Okay. Next day, once again, has somebody been riding the neighbor's horses? Art, come here. So I went up and got pedaled. This literally happened every day for 2 weeks. Finally, after 2 weeks, she called me up, she paddled me, and I'm like, okay, why do you keep picking on me? She goes, Art. Now remember, we wore white shirt, blue pants. She goes, Art, you're the only one with horsehair on your pants. Oh yeah, true story. Okay, I deserved it. And once again, like I said, I'm not saying I didn't deserve it. Um, yeah, and that was me. I was riding the Shetland ponies every morning before work or before school. And so but here it was, and I wonder if they're while they were paddling me, if they even thought this guy someday will be giving us money to support our missionary work. But I think it's really funny that I am the one doing that and had to go through that. So anyway, what am I doing here? Am I going to somewhere else? I think I'm just going to go to Brand right now and hang out. Okay, so I'm just going to do the show. This is just the Underground Gospels. I remember what I'm supposed to do. Housekeeping tips. Yes, welcome to the Underground Gospel Show, episodes 101 and 102. If you are a Patreon's user, you're getting them tonight, which is March 25th and March 26th. We go on at 8 o'clock. If you get the link sent to you, if you're a Patreon subscriber, if you're not, I believe this comes out on, let me double check here. I believe this show comes out on, um, is it the 15th and 16th of April? So this is going to come out right before tax time, which is great because I'm going to be giving you some tax tips here in just a minute. But before we do that, let's just spend a second and talk about today's sponsor, which is Proverbs 16:24. And this one's good because remember how I was lying well, I wasn't lying. I just, do you have anything to tell me? No. So I guess it was a lie by omission. I just pleaded the fifth, but the fifth doesn't actually, there's no Bill of Rights in heaven, I think. I don't think there's a voted on Bill of Rights. Let's put it that way. Needless to say, I was the one riding the horses and I got caught every single day. And after the final day with the horse around the pants, I stopped. Um, Pretty sure I stopped. But anyway, Proverbs 16:24. Gracious speech is like clover honey, good taste to the soul, quick energy for the body. And I want to go and just say one thing about this, and that is I'm not a big, as you know, Old Testament fan. I'm not a big New Testament fan. I'm a big gospel fan. The four gospels of Jesus Christ, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I want to know what Jesus said. I don't want to know the history of the Jewish people. Okay, I do know it. I've read the Bible a number of times. I Paul and his setting up the churches, great advice for setting up churches, and a lot of times good advice for people. I love how people read Revelations and always, think that we're in the end times right now. We are in the end times from the moment Jesus left and until he comes back. These are the end times. No doubt about it. So if you want to look for signs and say Jesus is coming tomorrow, Jesus is coming this afternoon, be prepared, guys, because sooner or later he's going to surprise you. It's going to happen to all of us. It might just be a natural death, an unnatural death of the fact that Jesus does come back and we are called up in tribulation, pre tribulation, post tribulation. I don't really care. I know where I'm going. I hope you do too. Um, but I want to talk about a little bit about our words, because what we say creates the life around us. Now, in the Bible in Genesis, it says God spoke and said, "Let there be light." I think that's really funny, because if he hadn't spoke, if audio, I'm an audio engineer too, and if there was no audio, we would still be in the dark and we probably wouldn't be here, because God spoke every part of His creation into existence. And in John 1, not John 1, but in John, the Gospel of John said, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God." And so what he's saying though is that the Word, okay, which then became flesh, became Jesus Christ. Do you realize that the Word of God became flesh and brought us salvation? It just blows my mind. I don't want to start crying, because I'll do it if I feel the tinge. Anyway, but it's a speech. And he gave us with certain powers. If there is a Bill of Rights in heaven, it's that we have certain powers along the same way as God does. We create our speech. When I'm in certain cities and working with the homeless, I'm just surprised how the amount of, it's funny, they call it cursing, and that's what it is. They are cursing their lives and cursing other people's lives almost continually. They're saying, you know, just cursors. And it's so funny that people I know in different industries that aren't in uh, that aren't in bad shape yet, they're always seem to be cursing. And then there's a small group of people, narrow group of people, very few group of people who use their words as a blessing. And I think that's what Proverbs 16:24 is talking about right here, is it's blessing people, and I think, you know, we can be a blessing. We can be like honey on people's lips. And you want to be somebody that to be around. I remember some one time there was some bad news given, and I saw the good side of it. I slanted it positively, and somebody said, "Well, that's just Art. He's always Mr. Positive." And I thought about it, and it's like, well, what's wrong with that? I'm completely blessed all the time, and it's real easy to give thanks. Um, my partner and I, every morning we start off with a group of affirmations. One of them, is I'm blessed and favored of God. God does do exceedingly abundantly above all that I ask or think. I got a lot of these from Steve Harvey and from Julia. Oh, come on, it'll come to me in a second. I always want to say Julia Childs, but no, that's not her. She's the one that wrote The Artist's Way. It just popped in, popped out again. Once again, this speech. So I will get the word in, or I will get her name. Um, anyway, as it's coming to me, the brain's working, filtering it out. But she has a whole lot of affirmations also for being creative. That I have the right to be a creative person. That God's given us the right to be creative, and that our creativity helps other people. And I firmly believe that. Well, at the end of it, my mentor the other day gave me a challenge. He said, for the next 21 days, at the end of each day, pick three things that you're thankful for of that day. Okay. And the next day, start the day with three things that you're thankful for that day. And I thought, well, that's really a good way to do it. So you're starting the day with thanks and you're ending the day with thanks. And so I added at the bottom of my affirmations, today was our first day that we gave thanks for three different things. And it was a great way to start the day. So use your speech to give thanks, because that which you appreciate appreciates in your life. It grows in your life. So then it keeps you focused. I was talking to my partner the other day. She had some things coming up, and she gave me a list of all of her liabilities, which is fine. I mean, we all have them. I have them too. I said, okay, well, sit down now. And said, what's your assets? She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, make a list of all your assets. What's all your money coming over the next 2 weeks? She goes, well, I didn't do that. I said, well, do it. Let's find out what do you want to grow? Your liabilities, the money that you owe, or the money coming in, your assets. And so I said, let's just focus. Uh, I won't tell you exactly what I said, but yeah, let's just focus on your assets. And so sorry, my brain. We got to forgive me. I'm going to get paddled again, I'm sure. But anyway, so uh, she started focusing on her assets, and I was too. And so that's one of the things I do is I focus on the income that I have coming in, not the outgo. I think I've told you this a couple of weeks ago. Also, the difference between rich and poor I learned a long time ago. And it's not just that we give money to the kingdom of God or give money to the poor or give 10% of our income, which sounds like I don't have 10%. Well, that's the difference. A rich person's philosophy, and I hate saying rich person, because it's not, it's just a gracious person, a grateful person will give that 10% and doesn't even miss it because it comes back immediately, and they spend 10% on themselves. I mean, they invest because you are your greatest investment. So they'll invest in first in the kingdom, second in themselves, and then with whatever's left, pay the bills. And there's sometimes I don't have enough to pay all my bills. You guys are going to wait a week or two, where a person who is not always blessed will typically, I've had so many people tell me, well, I'm never late on a bill. What's your savings like? Well, I don't have enough for savings. What's your giving like? Well, I don't have enough to give. Huh. And when you pay off those bills, what do they do? Do they thank you? Do they send you presents? Do they call you? Do they bless you anyway? Well, no. What do? Do you go out and get another bill? Well, yeah. When I pay off my car, I go buy a new car. No, so your bills grow, but your blessings don't. Kind of funny. So I tell them this, and hopefully, I've made an impact in some people's lives, and that they have invested myself in my learning and my education and the organizations of the people that I hang out with and what I do for time off. Invest in myself first, and then those blessings grow. And yeah, sometimes you don't have enough to pay them all. You have to call the election company and, guys, I'll pay you next week. I don't have enough for your due date. Call the medicine company or the doctors and, like, I know I'm supposed to make a payment on Friday. Can I make the payment next Friday? Can we add one more onto the back end? And most of the time, if you call them, they'll agree with it. Why would they bless you? Because you bless others. Um, and so you're honey into the lips, and they don't mind hearing from you. It's just when you hide and you disappear. I have one friend that I'll call her Karen. Seems to be the big name right now for people. And so, and I used to call her "Don't Answer the Door Karen," but now I call her Billionaire Karen, because of the fact that she's changing her thinking. And instead of hiding away and running away from things that are unpleasant, she walks directly into them. She takes care of them. She settles them. She works them out. And most of the time, she's been blessed by doing that. In fact, I can't think of a single time that she wasn't blessed by doing that. So I'm just sharing that as a inspiration for you guys. But not only, and so that was today's proverb today, where the show is brought to you by Proverbs 16:24. And let your speech be sweet, let it be like honey, and you'll be blessing to people and blessing to yourself. So now that we've got the sponsorship out of the way, am I still doing the housekeeping here? Yeah, I am. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And if you can support what I'm doing with the tip code that you can find on the website, go to the website night-music.com, and you can support us there. You can get involved with Patreon and get this, 2 to 6 weeks sooner if that's what you want to do. I hope you do. And you can find show times and links and garments. Oh my gosh. Do you know what time it is? It's springtime and we have a new set of garments out. Let me see if I can show this to you. This is one of the new ones. I've been wearing this week. So I get a good picture. This is a new garment. It's Jesus. It's a retro vintage 1970s style. I think it's cool because to me it looks like halos. It's like halos over Jesus, and but you can call it like a three-colored rainbow. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. I think it's cool. It's one of the new styles. If you go to our website, you'll find a link to all the merch. I have a bunch. Our big new campaign for this year is Be Instrumental. As you know, that's the tagline for our music program. And so there's a lot of Be Instrumental shirts, and we have a lot of Be Instrumental ads going out. I do not speak, which is really funny that I spend the whole time talking, but I don't sing. And that today we're brought by I'll Let Your Voice Be a Blessing, like Sweet as Honey, because I don't speak when I sing, and I play instrumentally. And so I just want to let you know that so God can speak directly to your heart. The lyrics for the songs are on the website. Please look them up. And there are sponsorship opportunities. I won't go into them now. You can contact me through nightmusic.com, at guitarforjesus at musician.org. And when you contact me there, I will be able to help you and help you sponsor me, which is okay. So either way, it's just any way that I can bless you. One of the challenges that I had, I wanted to do more Easter colors right now. I know I have violet and I have amber and I have some sea foam over here. My red isn't working on my LEDs underneath my desk, so I seem to only have green and blue. Yeah, so we're stuck with sea foam. This is the prettiest thing I could think of, and I'm wearing blue, of course, and so we're going on up that. How's that? How's that 3-point lighting working? Is that blowing me on this side too much? Because I wanted to do that because last week I noticed I didn't have any lighting and it looked like a black wall. And if I'm going to do that, I have use of the green screen. I could do the show there, and I might be doing that in the near future. I think I will probably do a couple episodes from a green screen. I just wasn't real happy with the testing. So but right now I'm going to play a couple songs, and let me see if I even have the songs up. I don't. I don't. So that's a oops on my part. So let me go up here and pull up a little set list so I make sure I get the songs. Wow, that's far. I was deep on. I was in the deep web. Um, yeah, I'll use that one. So I think what I'm going to do is I wanted to play for some reason, and I don't know why this is, but for some reason I kind of got the feeling for Easter to do some Irish songs. I know we just had St. Patrick's Day, but I felt, you know what, I want to do a little springtime Irish thing. Uh, Irish spring. Okay, well I figured out my brain. This is called Be Now of My Vision. I gotta do one thing here. Okay, because I wanted to see that you could see that I'm really playing because I'm just afraid somebody's going to say, let's go. He's not really playing that. Yes, I'm really playing that. Um, that's going to get edited. Let's try one more time. I do much better when I don't look. Let me do this real quickly. Go back over here, and this is called "Come Thou Font." This is called "Come the." This is called "Come Thou Font of Every Blessing." That's what happens when I get it off. When I take my eyes off of Jesus and start putting it on my guitar. Um, Well, that was pretty simple. Okay, so tax tips. Let me tell you what how they came about all these. Back in the late 1980s, I went through most of my, well, before that, in fact, even to this day, my entire life, right around the middle of October, I pretty much run out of work, and we stopped sometime middle of October through the middle of November. I don't do a lot of Christmas shows. I have one big show New Year's Eve, and then I'm dead until about the middle of March, right around St. Patrick's Day. We gear up and go on the road again. Right now, we're doing live streams. Typically, start booking about after Valentine's Day. So, scheduling after Valentine's Day and on the road after St. Patrick's Day. And that's been my life most of my life since like 13, well, since maybe 9 or 10, to tell you the truth. Definitely since 15, when I signed my first deal. And that has been my life. So basically, one year in November, I went to work for this company called Chipsoft. Now they're not around anymore. They sold out to Intuit, and this guy, his name, I hope I can say this, Mike Chipman, um, had this product called TurboTax. Now at that time, it was 6 very large floppy disks, and you put it in, and then you got an update mail to you once they finalized it with the IRS, and that usually came in February. I went to work for the company and went through 2 weeks of training on how to do the software. Somewhere along the lines, somebody brought in the guitar. I play guitar. They're like, "Oh, wait, you're in the music industry?" Well, yes, I am. Well, the largest statute of tax codes are entertainment. Would you like to be trained for the entertainment tax, entertainment taxes? When a door opens, I'm like, yes, I would. Thank you very much. I'd love to be trained to do entertainment taxes. So they had a guy from the IRS. So all these tips came from the IRS and the class that I took with this company. And that was, like I said, 1987. So I've been doing taxes ever since then. Now I have to give you a caveat and a little warning. I think I said this last week, that whenever you say that you're in the entertainment business, a red flag goes up, and you're probably going to get audited often, like once every decade at least, sometimes twice. Never more than that. In fact, one time I think I went 12 years without being audited, and I'm like, man, something's going on. Then I got audited later on that year. They sent me, I think, $350. It was, audits for me are not that bad. I've had to pay twice, and I've got money back 4 times. So I'm not, audits are not. One time I had to go into the RS. The first time. Since then, they just send me a letter and say, "Yeah, we found this." And so, I mean, it's kind of funny, but you have to have the attitude of expecting blessings, I think. Um, which I do. So I get a letter from the IRS. Oh, let's see what this is. How much they send me now? Is it a check? And mostly it is. To tell you the truth. So here's the reason why entertainment is always looked at. Well, it's a red flag for the IRS. That is because our lives are different. See, most people go out and buy clothes. We buy wardrobe. If we go to a dinner or a lunch with somebody, when we're talking about our industry, that lunch and that dinner become a tax exemption. Most people eat dinner without having a tax exemption. We very seldom eat dinner, and we never go out without having a tax exemption. And so that becomes a kind of red flag. Now, one thing that I learned, that this is a very big part, and that is, first thing I'm going to say is, right now, don't cheat on your taxes. Okay, everything I'm going to say was taught to me by a member of the IRS, um, but never, ever, 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 ever cheat on your IRS. I mean, if you don't lie, do not straight up lie. But the IRS has statutes, and one of them says, and I'm not saying but as in, okay, here comes a lie. No, I'm saying don't lie. The IRS says that you have to prove an occurrence of something, but you don't have to prove every occurrence. And I'll give you an example. And this is the way he told it to me. He said, if you have a person who does a show and makes $1,200 and he does 10 of those shows a year and he only turns in the receipt for one of them, you have to assume that he made $1,200 every single show. Well, if he's a songwriter and he makes one New Year's Eve show, he makes $1,200. The rest of the year he plays for free. The IRS will assume you made $1,200 every show you did. It works the other way too. If you park one day and you have to pay 50, $80 for park, I had an $80 parking um, fee last year. The IRS, and I could prove it. I had $80, had a receipt. The IRS has to prove or has to assume that every time I park to do that same type of show, it cost me $80. And so that's what I did. I do about 4 shows a month there, so I was able to write off 48 times of $80. Uh, they varied in parking the actuality, but the proof that I had, my one occurrence, was $80. Um, that's the first one. Secondly, as every time I go out to eat, like I said, that goes on the record. I save the occurrences and how many times I go out to eat. I save my lunches and my dinners. I don't own clothes, you guys. You see me wearing clothes right now. This isn't really clothes. This is what they call wardrobe, and I use wardrobe. I also have gear that I use to do this thing. Not only do I have a guitar, which is a tool, and it goes under a tool. It's non-depreciated because I pay it outright, and I just take the write off the year that I buy them. My computers are tools. I have 3-point lighting going on right now, and so those are actually tools. The camera, the stands, the stand cases, the mileage, the production costs, the storage costs to store the stuff because I don't carry it around with me all the time. That all becomes absolutely right off. And I do rent a storage facility that I store everything in. Well, what about a home office? I don't mess with it. I just get a storage facility. It's $38. And that way I can park my car in a garage and I still have a place to put all my gear. And it's kind of cool walking in and knowing the fact that um, some really, really, really famous stars work and store their stuff the same place I do. I could drop names, and I could drop names because I'm staying with I store with A-list musicians up in Nashville. I have a place at Soundcheck. I have a place at Center Stage in Los Angeles, and I have a place in where I'm at in Murfreesboro. It's a store place, but so it's kind of fun to come up there, pull everything out of storage, put it on carts, load it in my truck, come over here, set up for a show, do the show, tear it down, load it up, take it out. It's it's what I've been doing all my life, and I think it sets me apart for a couple different reasons. But first off, for taxes, it allows me to write everything, all these things, the storage and all the gear off for my tax, off my tax return. Also, the mileage of the car. Make sure you keep good track of mileage. Now, if you're going to a job and back, you don't write that off. But when you are a business, you are a musician, you get to write that off. Now, and let me state this, is because this is very important. The IRS allows you to write off anything for 7 years with no income. And if you have not made any income in 7 years, it becomes a hobby. It's a hobby to the IRS. It's not an actual business, and you can't write it off. Now, what you wrote off before then, to tell you the truth, I don't know. I mean, if you follow Schedule C and they decide in the seventh year it's a hobby, you still wrote off those past 7 years. Um, you were in the attempt to earn an income. And I believe that just came back to me. It is how they look. You were attempting to earn an income. Now I'm pretty blessed. I have, as I've been saying over and over the show, I have earned an income every year as a musician since I was, I don't know, 13 years old. So 15 years old, definitely. And so, I mean, even last year, I mean, it wasn't much. It was, a few thousand, not enough to live on, but it was an income. It had I had plus on. I had more write offs than I had write ons, but it I did have some income coming in. So as long as you're making money, it's not a hobby. It's if you're making money at it, if you're actually somebody's paying you for your services, you have a business and you are allowed business income, business write offs. So that's my little tax tips for you guys. I hope you keep records. I use Dave Ramsey has a really good tax software, and I have added a few different lines because at the bottom of the software, I basically copied it over to a Google Excel file to Google Sheets, and at the bottom of it, I put in all the deductions that you have on a Schedule C. So I have amount of income, I have an income page that goes out the bottom of it. But I also have, for advertising and for wardrobe and for depreciation, for mileage and for auto. So all that stuff is on one single spreadsheet. It, I literally do it every Thursday morning for about an hour. I take all my receipts from my credit card, put it down. Most of everything goes in the top part. Actually, you know what I'll do right now? I'm not going to show. There's no way I can share the screen. Oh wait, there is a share. Can I do this? This is a really good idea. Huh. Let's go ahead and open this up. Come on. Oh, it's opened it up the wrong way. It's going to take me an hour now to pull this up. I Windows. Okay, let me see. Let's go back to, is there any, yes, here. This is open. Okay, I can go there. I can go to my drive. I can pull it up. It will come up so quickly this way. Go to Metrics 22, pull that up. Now I'm hoping I can get to a place that you won't show you a whole lot of my, because yeah, I make some good money. I'm pretty blessed. Um, I have multiple spokes on my income wheel. Let's just say that. Um, and so I hope everybody in the entertainment business is developing multiple spokes on their income wheel. So let's see. Let's go to cash flow. And I can do this. Let me do this. Let me see if I can show this page first. I'll go over here, go back to here and see if I can actually show this. Go to hit share. Share my slides. No, share screen. Oh, okay. Two monitors is easiest. Here looks like with the good computer. Um, share screen. Okay. Let's go to window. Um, I'm gonna pull this up. I will find out later if this works. No, that's my shows. Let's go over to metrics areas. So you can see this is my money for year 22. I have that's the splash screen. Down here you'll see I have gigs and cash flow and loans. I have my team. I have my current, and I have my TOD. That's a collection account that I have. I collect companies. I think I've said that before. I'm going to go over here to cash flow, and I'm going to quickly, maybe not so quickly, go past all the amounts that I have so that you guys aren't seeing all this. And so we'll go down one. Okay, so category charitable gifts. I have my tithing, my offerings, my IPO fund is what I call my TOD fund. I have my pay myself first fund. So 10% of my money goes to tithe. 10% gross, you can see. I'm going to use the little blue cursor right here. Blue cursor says 10% of the gross, that's tithe. 10% of my net is pay myself first. Okay, my IPO fund is $100. I have a rent. Here where I have any of that shown. No, I won't put it in. I have a rent amount. I have a first mortgage, hotel expenses, sound check, expenses, real estate, homeowners, replace furniture, hotel expenses. I lost everything. I don't know why. Hold on. Okay, shut that down. Shut that. Oh, it's because I pressed the bottom one so many times. Okay. And now we'll go. Please disappear forever. Okay. Come back here to metrics. Okay. So then for utilities, I have storage, electricity, water, gas, food, phone, cell, trash, cable, my online. My online is I actually have Wi-Fi in my car and I pay for that because I need on the road. My Prime, I just canceled Prime. I'm going to get rid of this next time talking. I have a budget for groceries and a budget for restaurants. That's what I spend. Well, I've spent way more than that actually, but I have a car payment, which I don't actually have a car payment, but there are few times when I this is really funny, and I'm going to say this real quick. Let me go back here to StreamYard. I'll get out of that real quick. Um, and basically, what happens is I have money in my IPO and my TOD account, a lot of money, and so it's a lot of money. And what happens is I will borrow from it. There's a thing called a margin account. It's kind of like if I went to a title loan company and I gave them my title and they'd give me some money, they'd give me a couple $1,000s to have my car repaired or get new tires or whatever I need done. And then I would pay them back. And they're usually at, like 35%. So my fund account, and I've been putting money in it consistently for years, has a lot of money. So I can borrow the cash from myself. Um, and I pay eh, if I have $500,000 or less in that account, I pay 5%. If I have $500,000 or more in that account, I pay 3%. But I borrow the money from myself and make payments back to myself. I know it sounds funny, but I actually am my own bank. And so the funny thing is, though, the great thing is, I never get mad at myself if I miss a payment. I'll go through a online mortgage calculator and figure out what our investment, or not investment, but a borrowing calculator, and I'll find out how much it would cost me to borrow, $2,000 at 3%, for over 2 years. And so then find out what the payments are, and then I just pay myself that amount. Sometimes pay it back because since I'm borrowing from me, I want to pay it off as soon as I possibly can. I don't ever get mad that I've paid it off too fast. Yeah. So, but the fact is, it gives me the ability to have a bank, well, have bank fees, which you'll see in just a second. So going back to this, am I on share yet? Window share. Huh. I hope it's working. I don't know. We'll find out. So car payment, titles and taxes, repairs and tires, car insurance, parking, license, plane, travel, bus fare. I do all that. And the travel and bus fare also include Lyft and ride share. And then clothing, adult, cleaning and laundry. I have vet bills because my beautiful puppy. I have health insurance, doctor. Now, usually I don't have health insurance. And I'll tell you why. The health insurance for me is about $800 a month. My doctor charges me $75 a visit. So if I go to him every 6 months, I'm paying $150 a year. Otherwise, they want 800. Well, actually, it's like 870 a month. So I right now don't have health insurance, but I do have a uh, just pay cash. I do have dentist bills, optometrist. I get glasses once every 2 years. I do have drugs that I pay for every year. Um, I shouldn't say that, but it's different. It's drugs keep me alive, not to keep me happy. Let's see. I have personal care, and all those come straight from Dave Ramsey. Um, I have money that I blow, money I have entertainment expenses. Big one. You know, if you go to a movie, if you go to a concert, if you go to see another show, if you go have dinner at that show, that's all tax deductible when you're in the entertainment business. Um, I don't actually take vacations, but I do go to find places that I might be able to play, like in California or New Orleans or places all around. So I do deduct that. Domain renewal for my websites, plural, by the way. IMDb and SAG costs. You can see SAG on that side. School loans. Um, School loans are funny. My school loans are, I have some debts from years ago that I consider an educational expense because I learned never to do that again. I have different now ISAWMM. Those are other Patreon things that I support other people. Pitch submissions. I have other demo shirts, which I just showed you. That shirt was a demo shirt. I have advertising, StreamYard, which my I hope that's working right now. Advertising, night gear. So bank charges. Bank charges once again are going to be whatever I'm charging my self interest. Um, and then the grand total, and then down here I have income, so you can see, all my income comes to the day I get it, the amount and everything. So you can see how that works, and I'll go back into StreamYard, and hopefully that worked. Cancel that all out, and maybe you saw it, maybe you did. Anyway, click Shure on the model and not cancel. Okay, well, I did share it, I hope. Anyway, so that's how that works, and that, like I said, is my metric. And I made that up in Google Sheets. I had one for years in Excel when I was using a lot of Microsoft projects. It works better for me to use Sheets because that way I can use it on my cell phone, I can use it on public computers, I can use, it's always available in my personal Google Drive. So that's what I use anyway. And that's it for the show. I've done my music, done my show, and I'm going almost an hour, but this was a lot to cover. This is all taxes, so I hope you guys got something out of it. Thank you so much. Let's pray us out of here. Heavenly Father, thank you for the people who've watched this show. Whatever I said, bless them as they're going and doing their taxes. Let them, it's not that much. It literally is, you know, 30 minutes once a week to do your accounting, and all your taxes will be done at the first of the year by the second week of February. Um, and it is a problem because of the Schedule C, but you're a business. You are set apart. You are, that the word holy, Lord, when you call us a holy people, it's because we are a people set apart. And these musicians and these entertainers who are watching this right now, Lord, they again are set apart. They're not we are on the other side of the barricade. There's people that we perform in front of, and because of that, we get some blessings that they don't have. But it takes some work that they don't have to do either. And so this is just part of what it is. This is the business part of the movie business or the music business or the acting business. Whatever we do has this business aspect, and taxes are part of the business aspect. And so I just ask you to bless them with income, Lord, and bless them with shows, and bless them with the desires of their heart. And thank you so much for their creativity and their ability to create and to share and to share joy with so many people. And so I just give you all the praise and glory and blessings through your precious name, Jesus. Amen. So anyway, guys, have a great week. And after I edit this, now will come the credits. Bye. We'll see you next week.